Hello, you are watching Studio Expansion TV, bringing you more passion, more profits, and more purpose to your studio. My name is Chantel, and in today's episode, we're talking about how to make a magical first impression in your studio. So let's talk about first impression. A girlfriend of mine has 3-year-old twins and she booked them in online for a Tiny Tots class. And so she filled in all her information. She was told, come to the studio at this time for your class. She's all excited, she's looking forward to it. And she brings her two little kids off to the studio and she arrives through the door and straight away she notices, okay, well there's no one here to greet me. And she saw that the teacher was teaching her class and pretty busy. And so when she finally was able to, connect with the teacher, she goes, "Oh, I didn't know you were coming." And my friend goes, "Oh, but I filled in the application online and I was told to come at this time." I said, "Oh, well, I can't find you in the system, so you'll just need to fill in this application form here." So then my friend literally fills in everything again. And, straight away, that feeling of coming to this studio space with her children, the experience has already been tarnished, if you know what I mean. And then after that, no one showed her around, no one made the effort to engage with her. At the end of the class, it was kind of like there was no process, there was no invitation, there was no, checking in to see how did you go, what did you think. She just kind of walked out. And, the really challenging thing here is the teacher who was facilitating this class was a bit younger, for sure, but, I do really wonder, as a studio owner, how well are we guiding this onboarding process, this welcoming process for our new students? We only have a fraction of a second to be able to make that incredible wow factor welcome, to make them feel valued, to make them feel part of the family in your studio from that very first moment. And it's a really good question to ask yourself and also to ask your teachers to think, okay, what would it take to completely exceed the expectations of our new students? What questions will we need to ask them? What do we need to show them when they come through the door? How can we make them feel connected and valued so that they're going to stay with us for a very long time? So I want to share with you my 3 tips for creating a magical first impression. The first tip is to get a really good system for notifying your teachers that they've got a new student coming into class, because nothing says unprofessional like, "Oh, I didn't know that you were going to be joining us." We want to preempt their arrival. We want to greet them by name as they come through the door. And not only the student's name, but the parent's name as well. That's really important. That makes that whole feeling of, wow, very, very slick service here. One of the ways that we do this is by using Trello. Now, Trello is this fantastic communications hub for your whole team, and it can allow you to keep in contact and send them messages to your teachers. And so all you have to do is kind of in the plan for the week, you just write a little notification to, okay, Jenny, you have got Sarah, who is 8, and her mother, Mary, coming to class this week. Please be sure to make them feel incredibly welcome and make a really strong initial impression. The second tip is to spend a bit of time with your teachers visualizing what would the most magnificent first class look like for a new student. I want you to draw this out of your teachers. What type of questions could we ask them? How would we want the room set up? What type of music would be playing? Let's actually create a process for that first impression that you can then put into, a really clear little checklist even. Like step 1, have music playing. Step 2, have the table set up with information. Step 3, have the door open. Really make it clear for your teachers so that you have a systemized and standardized process for that first class. The most important thing that we can be striving towards in the studio is consistency. And if your teachers are invested in that program, because they're the ones we have to rely on, let's be honest. If your teachers have that chance to say, "Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if you do this," or "I find that this works so well," your teachers will be more invested and more likely to implement it every week and give that consistent, magical first impression. And the third tip is to add a little bit of sparkle. So if you think about it, what would really exceed their expectations? Some studios, I love this, they give the student a little welcome gift. It could be as simple as a little hair tie, not huge, but just the feeling of you come, welcome. Here's a little gift to welcome you, and mum can look after it. You might like to be talking with your teachers about specifically how you can give that new student some extra feedback, some extra praise, both during the class and also at the end. And it's really important to try and facilitate that process. At the end of class, often it is chaos. There's kids, there's parents, there's what going on. But it's really important if we can, even just have a little whisper to the student or the parent in the middle of the class, say, I'd just love to spend a few minutes with you after class and just share with you like how you were going and see if you have any questions. Taking that time to instill in them that you care and you are invested in them having a wonderful experience speaks volumes about who you are as a studio and the results you want your students to get. And my other favorite thing about developing this kind of magical first impression is that more often than not, if you can completely knock their socks off in that first instance, you'll find that they'll start talking about you all. And the mums will be like, oh, you have to come to this studio, and you'll get amazing word of mouth referrals, all because of this experience you've created and the care and love you've put into that welcome process for your students. Brilliant. So if you enjoyed this video and you're looking for more ways to grow your studio, I've put together my absolute favorite 100 ways to grow your studio, my most proven, the most effective ways to rapidly get more students through the door, and put it all into one free PDF. You can download it below and it will go straight to your inbox. You can print it out and start putting this into place this week. You will absolutely love it. So when was the last time you were wowed in that first impression with a company? It could have been at a restaurant or maybe at a hairdresser, but share in the comments below an experience where you were totally blown away by the quality of service that you received from a company. I'd love to read them. And make sure you go and download that 100 Ways to Grow Your Studio PDF. It's completely free and it's the ultimate resource for studio owners. You're gonna love having all these ideas at your fingertips. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Chantel from Studio Expansion, and I'll see you next time.